So I've got 30 seconds to introduce the business. I'm Mike Dales. My business is called Big Pond Scotland, and probably I've spoken to over half of you over the years and passed you a business card, but if not, I've got business cards with me today, and I can chat to you between the end of this presentation and 11 o'clock. But basically, Big Pond Scotland is a recreation, tourism, marketing consultancy business, but I also do proofreading on the side as well. So I've got something completely different there that I can do for anyone. So I can proofread a 500-page book, or a business card, or a website, or anything else in between. And given this presentation, it's going to be really weird not having the device in my hand. The 20-second thing, it's probably going to be one of those lip-syncing things of watching the news, where the person's lips and the voice coming out aren't in sync. But I will try to keep on time. So I will say...
Are you ready to go?
Go.
Go. Okay. So there we are.
So this is a story about getting out of your chair and taking regular daily exercise. I've always been fit, always been active. But 4 years ago, I realised that I was having too many sedentary days and picking up a lot of injuries because of it. So I was inspired by something called the 5x50 Challenge, which is all about encouraging people to take 5 kilometres of exercise, 50 consecutive days through the spring. And also Dr. Andrew Murray, whose job title used to be Scottish Government Physical Health Champion. Follow Andrew on Twitter, and he retweets a lot of material by Dr. Mike Evans from Toronto. Really worth following both of them. Mike's videos on exercise and drinking water are really, really worth seeing. And all of their messages really come down to what it says there. 4 words: move more, sit less. And I'm talking to an audience who are sitting down. So please feel free to stand up if you want to do. Because really the chair is the big problem in the modern world. If you sort of analyse your day, you sit down to breakfast, you get in your car, you drive to work, you arrive at work, you sit at a computer, and what you do all evening, you sit in front of a television. At some point in your day, stand up, sit down, move about a bit more. So this is one of those moments, waiting for the next one to come along. So I set myself a challenge, was really just to keep the 5x50 challenge going for more than 50 days. So my original challenge was 250 days in the year. And actually I was finding it quite easy to get out every day, so I thought, just up it, 365 days in a year. So it was on the 25th of March 2013 that was day one of just not stopping. So that means today, I've not been out yet, but today is 998, which effectively means Saturday coming up is 1,000 consecutive days of travelling at least 5 kilometres self-propelled. And I'll be doing a park run on the North Inch at 9:30 on Saturday morning. Anyone who wants to come along and join me. Don't come to watch, come to run. The ones at the front there look fast, but the ones at the back, believe me, are just walking at the sort of speed that you might walk at. So park run is a really good thing to do. Within those 1,000 days, there have been absolutely classic days like you see there up on Harple in Sutherland, in the far northwest of Scotland. Those were the days that I used to do on the 3 days a week of going berserk. And those are the days I live for. And long distance, multi-day routes as well. In 2013, my partner and I, we cycled Land's End to John O'Groats. Last year, we cycled the Irish equivalent, Mizenhead to Mallinghead. And this year's cycle challenge was just 1 day, but it was more spectacular scenery in the Italian Dolomites. And one of the things about doing daily exercise is that I've just stopped getting those niggly injuries that I used to be picking up all the time. And that's enabled me now to get back to doing what I was doing 25 years ago, which is running full marathons. So in June this year, I ran the Brixton Marathon in Italy, which as well as being 26 miles long, has 8,000 foot of ascent. But for every one of those days, there are 20 or 30 bread and butter days of just getting on the bike and whizzing around the local circuit from home, just grinding out the journeys around the circuit. And that is what I need to do to keep that challenge going. But what motivates me to keep active through the cold, wet months, like December? It is just that competitive thing of having a target, and it is following the BBC weather forecast and picking out the best bit of the day, so planning ahead. And also the competitive nature is having a spreadsheet. It's my answer to everything in life is set up a spreadsheet. So we have 2 columns, that's hers, that's his, and the challenge is at the end of the year to have the full year filled in with no gaps. And there's day 1,000 I can tie to. Now it does sound as if I never take a rest. I'm the human equivalent of a Cocker Spaniel, but actually rest, recovery and relaxation are incredibly important, and you just can't beat walking, dog walking, as a good form of exercise. So there are a lot of days where it is just walking. But as well as exercise these days, I stretch a lot more, I drink a lot more water, and I stand a lot more. I don't just sit and watch television all evening, I sit and watch TV, then I stand up. Same working on the computer during the daytime. And this link between physical activity and health is in the news more and more these days. And one of the great stories is this one from a junior school in Stirling about the Daily Mile. Really worth Googling, and if you can find that article from The Guardian, it is an absolutely fantastic read. So why don't you join me, use your imagination to set your own target. You don't have to do what I do. You can do any one of those examples there, or come up with something completely different. But have a think about it and set your own challenge. And we are just coming into the weekend of Sports Personality of the Year. And I think it's the chance for all of us to look back and review our sporting year, whatever level we are. So why don't you join me over the next few days in using the hashtag #MySportingHighlight of 2015 in one picture. I'm sure you can come up with some picture you could put on Twitter that would fit that hashtag. And I think I've just about kept on time there. So that's the end. Thank you.
I feel distinctly unfit. How do you all feel? How do you all feel?
Me too.
So, yeah. Mike, that was brilliant. And as I said to you, when Mike came and spoke to me, he told me about this, and he said, that's why I would like to do this presentation, because 2 days from today, it's 1,000 days. And you think about that, 1,000 days doing 5K every single day. What Mike didn't tell you was the story about the day he could probably just barely get out of bed. Barely get out of bed because his back had seized up. And he said to me, my wife just encouraged me to come out for a short walk, and by the time he'd walked a few hundred yards, the back had loosened up, and he ended up doing 5 kilometres. So, you know, he's a humble guy, Mike, but that's quite an achievement, I think.